And even as we gather to try and find a number of youths who've since gone lost and have not been found, the president has the audacity and the temerity to tell the people of Kenya that he is not aware of anyone who has been abducted, and should there be any such case, then it should be reported to him. Number one, this is a person who doesn't know what is happening in his country. And if he does know and he is ignoring that fact, then that means he's the one behind these abductions. So it is time we raise our voices higher and speak to the kind of disregard of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights that is happening in Kenya right now. And I think it's incumbent we make it known that Kenya has not ratified the international instrument on enforced disappearances. And this must be done with immediate effect. I think it's time we ratify this instrument. It's important to lead us in a way to try sanitize the country or get the country clean of these abductions and enforced disappearances. At the same time, we need a national or rather a local instrument. And that means there should be an act of parliament that speaks to enforced disappearances and abductions in this case. We cannot just have the provisions on, in two articles, 25 and 51 of the Constitution, speaking about habeas corpus, and it stops there, nothing more. And also, there's also another provision in the Criminal Procedure Code. We cannot have only 3 mentions on something that is of national importance as enforced disappearance at this moment. So the government must respect the rule of law, and it must implement the provisions of the Constitution, which are the aspirations of Kenya, that the Kenyans decided that this is what we aspire to achieve as a country. Last week we were touring the Nyanza region, and my colleagues have spoken about quite a number of projects. Kadiel Kanyadhiang, Afri-Cities project in Kisumu, we have the Mbita Sori Sindo Road, and many others. Look, the worst road we have seen so far in our tour of the country is the Mbita Sindo Sori Road. Very bad. It's in a sorry state. That tells you that that region is actually marginalized.
3 billion.
And that road cost 3 billion Kenya shillings. 3 billion. And my engineer here said it has a valley within a road. You can imagine. 3 billion. All right? 74 kilometers road, only 12 kilometers is done, and it's not done. Because you use 1 to 2 hours to cover 12 kilometers. How so? So really, that region has been marginalized, and I think it's time we be serious. It's time we get serious, and I encourage the government. President William Ruto, you toured that region, I think 1 week ago. Please respect your promises. Please deliver on your promises, because you cannot go around lying to unsuspecting Kenyans, telling them how good life is gonna be after you leave that region. But then projects stay stalled. All right? Things are not implemented. Money is poured, but the hugest chunk of that money go to your pocket. We cannot continue living like this. At this point, Kenyans, we have to speak for ourselves, and that is why we are here today. And we are telling you that we can only do so much, but with you together, we can do the most for this country, and we can deliver this country out of the hands of these money-thirsty cabals. Thank you so much. May God bless you, and we hope all of you join us in this journey towards a new, better Kenya.
Welcome back to MORARA TV, your number one source of entertainment, information and news about governance in Africa. So the video you have just seen there is a group of youth being led by MORARA Kevaso, who are going around the country inspecting the project which the government promised to the people. So the first statement this guy Opondo raised is that there have gone a lot of youths who have been forced to disappear, abduction and a lot of things which were happening in the country, and they are saying that indeed the president is aware, but when he was asked, he said that he is not aware and this thing should be reported to. So the reality is that according to how they are putting it, is that the president is very aware of this abduction, and even when the Inspector General of the police has been summoned 4 times to the court and he never goes to the court. What does that mean? There is no respect of the law. And even through this enforced disappearance, they are saying that there is no act in parliament or there is no measure which has been taken place so that it can speak on this matter. Local amendment or act should be made by parliament to speak about these abductions and forced disappearance. Though they went ahead to say that the government must respect the rule of law and the president must respect the law and even do what is supposed to be done, because they are accusing that in some extent the president does not obey some laws. So they went ahead to say that when the president went through the tour of Luo Nyanza, he went ahead throwing projects, a lot of projects and promises, some of these things which will never happen. And even when the money is released, the largest chunk of money goes to his pocket. And they went to say that they have never seen a very worse road in the country like what they saw in Luo Nyanza. And that means a lot, or that speaks a lot in terms of what's happening in the country. How can an area have the poorest road, 74 kilometers, which was promised 3 billion, only 12 kilometers have been done and in a shady way? That really exposes a lot of things. Though this gentleman went ahead to say that the president goes to a region, promises a hefty lies, and then says that the life is going to be good when he leaves that place. But when the president leaves, nothing happens, nothing changes. In fact, it brings more misery for the people. And the money is poured for project, but it's end up in individual pockets. So that's one of the things which these guys have exposed. So for me, I feel like there's a lot happening in this country and it really needs to be looked upon, especially on matters of abduction, because right now the Inspector General of Police has been summoned 4 times by the court to appear before the magistrates and he has never dared to go because they want the government to produce this guy who they don't have. It's like this guy maybe have been killed, but the guy is nowhere to be seen. And while they are demanding for this guy, the Inspector General has been forced to appear for answers, but this guy doesn't want to meet or appear before court to answer this question. So it means that really shows about a lot about what's going on in the government, what the government of the day is up to, and many other things. So make sure you comment what you think. Make sure you comment what you know about what is happening. Stay tuned for the next video.